What's going on, everyone? So I did a video diving into the Brooklyn Nets and kind of how to fix the Lakers through the Brooklyn Nets. But my favorite trade is involving Zach LaVine. Now, many of you are probably aware, I am a big Zach LaVine guy. I think Zach LaVine makes a ton of sense. And the beauty of getting Zach LaVine is you don't have to give up all your assets to go get Zach LaVine. I also think from an individual singular standpoint, he is the highest ceiling raiser as far as players go, right? Over Cam Johnson or a Bruce Brown or a Jeremy Grant or any of those guys. But you still have flexibility to do other things because you'd still have your picks and you'd still have tradable players, right? To get Zach LaVine, you basically need to do Rui Hachimura, D'Angelo Russell, as well as Gabe Vincent. Boom, Zach LaVine is yours. But I believe that the Lakers, if they want to be clear-cut top, if not the best team in the NBA, you do need more than just Zach LaVine. In a perfect world, I'd love to get something like a Zach LaVine, a Dorian Finney-Smith, and like a Walker Kessler. Now I think we're up there. You got a 3-and-D Wayne, you got Zach LaVine, and you got your backup center for now and the future. And then when LeBron rides off to the sunset, you got Anthony Davis, Walker Kessler as your two men down low, and then you got Zach LaVine as your guy up top. I love it, right? Like, give me that. Zach LaVine in the backcourt, or with Anthony Davis and Walker Kessler in the front court, and fill in the gaps as needed, right? But another kind of idea that I have in my head is kind of combining the Chicago Bulls with the potential trade of a Brooklyn Nets. I think that would be ideal, where you get a Zach LaVine and then you go get a deal with the Brooklyn Nets, because again, you'd still have your picks and could go and now go get a Dorian Finney-Smith. You could also get like a Dayron Sharpe. And then, technically you could even get a Dennis Schroder along with that too. So I wanted to kind of go over and break down different kind of thoughts. Again, just a fun conversation, just something to, just talk about and explore different possibilities, because I am a big Zach LaVine guy, but a big thing that people talk about is like, oh, but if you get Zach LaVine, you lose all your depth and all that stuff. Okay, well, let's break it down and let's talk about it. So, in order to get Zach LaVine, you're talking you need to send out about $44 million, right? Dorian Finney-Smith is making about $14 million, rounding it up, right? Because again, Lakers have to send out more money in each of these trades. And then Dorian Finney-Smith is making $15 million, and Dayron Sharpe is making $5 million. Now, realistically, because the Lakers aren't going to trade Austin Reeves, if they were willing to trade Austin Reeves, you could actually get all four of them. And I'll break that down at the end of the video. I want to stick with the kind of more realistic version, just because I don't believe that the Lakers are going to trade Austin Reeves. So you're looking at Zach LaVine, Dayron Sharpe, and then one of Dorian Finney-Smith and Dennis Schroder, right? That gets you about, that you need to send out about $64 million, $65 million to be safe, right? It's really like $62 million, $63 million, but again, better to send out more because you have to fill out a roster. Right? You need to be able to at least get to 15 or 14 guys on the roster, right? So let's say, and you could take your pick. So Zach LaVine, Dayron Sharpe, and then whichever one you prefer, Dorian Finney-Smith or Dennis Schroder, because they're both one's making 14, one's making 15. So the numbers work out regardless. But one of those two, so you're getting those three guys back. Personally, I do think that there is an argument for either. I kind of like the idea, but the problem is, would the Lakers make Austin Reeves your sixth man? I really like the idea of Dennis Schroder with a Zach LaVine in the backcourt, right? Got that point of attack, got very athletic guards, right? I just like that. And then put like a Cam Reddish at the three for like defensive purposes. Now you have Cam Reddish. Zach LaVine has always been at or above, a league average defensively, right? So Zach LaVine, even his defensive woes that people talk about, is actually at least league average, if not on most years, is actually much better than league average. I just think now you have just a well-balanced roster. But with Dorian Finney-Smith, right, looking at Austin Reeves, so if we're being honest, Lakers probably keep Austin Reeves and they're probably going to start him. So I would go with Dorian Finney-Smith if that's the case, right? Because then you got Austin Reeves, Zach LaVine, and then you get your 3-and-D guy in Dorian Finney-Smith with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, right? So now You have Zach LaVine, who can kind of give you that defense, give you the athleticism out on the perimeter, along with the Dorian Finney-Smith, who can defend the best player on the other team. So let's go with that. So you're talking Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dayron Sharpe. So you're looking at, again, $64 million that you need to send out. How do you get there? What do you have to send out? Quite a bit. It's not that much, but it's quite a bit. So you're looking at D'Lo, Rui, Gabe, which, gets you to Zach LaVine. Then you need Jared Vanderbilt, Jalen Hood-Schifino, and Max Christie. Now, technically, you don't need Max Christie. You can kind of get there in other ways, but the reason you probably have to trade Max Christie is so you can fill out the rest of the roster. Because between those 6 guys, you're talking $68 million that you would be sending out. It's actually a little more, but again, you want to round down and then round up for the next trade. So you're talking $68 million that you're sending out in salary to get $64 million back, right? And then now you're doing a 3 for 6 swap, which sounds like a lot, but again, Gabe Vincent is just giving you cardio every night. Max Christie, I love Max Christie. I love his youth. I still believe in him, but you're trying to win now, right? So if you can make a move that helps you win now, you make the move to help you win now. So again, I think you give up Max Christie. That's a tough pill to swallow, but so be it. Jalen Hood-Schifino is giving you absolutely nothing, right? And you're probably just letting them walk in the offseason. Jared Vanderbilt would be nice to keep, but problem with Vando is, can he stay healthy? And is he worth taking the risk over? And you're getting a Dorian Finney-Smith to come in and start, and you'd still have Cam Reddish be in good shape. Really, the only guys that you're kind of losing are D'Lo, which the way he's been playing this year is kind of questionable, and then Rui Hachimura. Right? But again, you're getting back Zach LaVine, who literally this season, is giving you the same production as Rui and D'Lo and Gabe combined. Right? So again, Zach LaVine basically offsets that. And then again, you're getting a Dorian Finney-Smith along with your backup center and Dayron Sharpe, who's 23 years old. Right? Zach LaVine, you don't have to give up any first for. Those 3, look, Dorian Finney-Smith, the Nets have been trying to get a first for years now. You're not getting a first for him. Dayron Sharpe isn't worth the first. And again, Zach LaVine, you're not giving up first. So maybe you give up 1 first in like maybe a couple seconds or something like that. So you probably get to keep a first as well, to where if you ever did want to trade Austin Reeves, you could still do that. Or if you needed to trade some other guys or stack some guys or whatever, if you wanted to get off of Dorian Finney-Smith and add him and flip him into somebody else, whatever, however you want to do it, you could do it. But now, again, you have to fill out a roster. So you have 3 guys coming in. You have 6 guys going out, right? So you need to fill 2 roster spots because, again, they have 15 guys. 6 going out leaves you at 9, but you're getting 3 in, and you have to get to 14. That would put you at 12. But now you have about $5 million to play with, which those vet minimum contracts are around that depending on the years. But you're probably bringing in like a Quincy Olivari and maybe like a Christian Koloko or something like that. So what does the roster look like at that point? Looking at Austin Reeves, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis in the starting 5. Then probably looking at Quincy Olivari with Cam Reddish, right? And then you also have Dayron Sharpe. You have Christian Koloko if you want, and you have Christian Wood. Right, so you have some flexibility there in that regard. You could bring in like a Jordan Goodwin or something like that if you wanted to, and because you'd still have Jackson Hayes, right? So you have flexibility, you have options there. But point is, you have now a legit starting 5 that can compete with anybody, and on top of that, you have your 8-9 guys that you need to now compete and go heavy to try to win an NBA championship. I love that, I really do. Because again, Zach LaVine, I think, gives you the highest ceiling raise. Get a 3-and-D guy in Dorian Finney-Smith, and then you get a backup center in Dayron Sharpe. It literally solves all your issues. You got your 3rd guy, everything. Now, personally, I would prefer if the Lakers ended up trading Austin Reeves and got Dennis Schroder also. Because now, imagine a Dennis Schroder, right? Because now, 1, you're doing a 4 for 7 swap. So you still are in the same boat, but the money would still work out. You'd still be able to bring in your guys. But now you're getting Dennis Schroder, Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. You have Everybody on the roster can shoot. Everybody has athleticism. You have two guys that can be your defensive stoppers. Zach LaVine would be defending your third best guy, and he, again, is around league average, if not better, every year. Like, at that point, LeBron is your worst defensive player, right? And when he wants to lock down and needs to lock down, he can. So I like that idea a lot. And then, again, you're bringing in Quincy Olivari and you're bringing in, Christian Coloco or whatever, and then you still have the same backup five that I talked about. But now, again, you have Dennis Schroder with Zach LaVine, Dorian Finney-Smith, and then LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I think that is now, especially the way Dennis Schroder is playing this year, if he can play even half of what he's playing this season, because obviously he'd have a different role, be playing very different for the Lakers than he is right now for the Nets. He has a lot more freedom on the Nets, and he's kind of like, one of the guys, where on the Lakers, he's, basically your fourth or fifth guy at that point. But if he could even be half of what he's being there, that's huge, right? Particularly the three-point shooting, that's huge. So, anyway, again, just like a little fun conversation, just kind of breaking down different possibilities, different options, different potentials. Like, how can you get, because people always ask, like, okay, well, if you get Zach LaVine, what else, right? Like, okay, well, let's talk about it. Again, perfect world, I would rather have I'd rather have Walker Kessler than Dayron Sharpe. So, like, if you could do something where, say you could get, Dennis Schroder, Dorian Finney-Smith for a first, and then trade the other first and go get Walker Kessler, I would love that. Imagine Zach LaVine, Walker Kessler, Dorian Finney-Smith, and Dennis Schroder. Whew. Now I think the Lakers are the best team in the NBA. All right, but anyway, as always, this is a discussion, and I pass the question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? What are your thoughts? Do you like this idea? Do you hate this idea? You kind of mix? Do you have any other ideas? Is there any other kind of potential possibilities? Again, it's YouTube. It's content. It's entertainment. It's fun. It's okay to just have fun and explore some stuff. I know some people don't like these videos. That's fine. No problem. When we get some actual news, stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, for those that do enjoy this, let's have a fun conversation. So let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.